I'm a dad, I'm a husband. You're not getting it. It's not clocking to you. It's not clocking to you that I'm standing on business, is it?
We're on the sidewalk, Joe.
I don't give a if you're on the sidewalk. I'm a human being. You're standing around my car.
Well. We finally have our answers about Justin Bieber. And let me tell you, this tea is absolutely scalding. After months of bizarre Instagram posts, paparazzi confrontations, and everyone asking, is Justin okay? The truth has finally surfaced. And it's more calculated than any of us imagined. Justin Bieber just dropped his 7th studio album, Swag, completely out of nowhere. And apparently everything we've been witnessing was an elaborate promotional strategy. But here's where it gets crazy. By the end of this, you're gonna question everything you thought you knew about celebrity breakdowns.
Justin Bieber is dropping his swag on fans. Less than a day after announcing his new album Swag, the Sorry singer released his long-awaited 7th studio album July 11th.
Let's start with the most shocking revelation that nobody saw coming. But wait, there's more. Remember that viral paparazzi incident where Justin was screaming, "It's not clocking to you that I'm standing on business"? The one that turned into countless memes and had everyone questioning his mental state? Well, plot twist of the century, Justin actually had to pay those same paparazzi to license that audio for his album. But it gets even wilder. He literally paid his enemies to use the moment where he was raging against them. That's some next-level petty energy with undeniable strategic brilliance. Now here's where it gets complex. This wasn't just a random outburst. The incident happened outside Soho House in Malibu, where Justin turned and delivered that now famous rant instead of ignoring the photographers. He told them, "I'm a real dad with a real family," before uttering the line that broke the internet. "You're not getting it. It's not clocking to you that I'm standing on business, is it?"
And how about this? Justin Bieber, he's been in the headlines lately too for some interesting posts on social media. Then yesterday, billboards started popping up, appearing to reveal new music on the way. Well, overnight, he dropped a surprise new album called Swag.
But listen to this. It gets crazier. Multiple sources now confirm that Justin knew exactly what he was doing. This wasn't some unhinged moment. It was content creation at its finest. The track Standing on Business on his new album literally opens with that audio. And then comedian Drewski jumps in to make jokes about Justin's pronunciation being so intimidating that the paparazzi couldn't leave him alone.
But that's not even the wildest part. Wait until you hear about the financial crisis that explains everything. Here's the real tea that explains everything we've been witnessing. And it's going to blow your mind.
Justin Bieber and Scooter Braun are settling their scores. After the singer and his former manager seemingly cut ties for good in 2023, multiple outlets are now reporting that the two have finally reached a financial agreement.
This Swag album isn't just artistic expression. It's Justin's desperate attempt to pay back a massive debt that could have destroyed his career. When Justin canceled his Justice Tour in 2022, he left a $24 million hole that Scooter Braun's company filled. The deal was simple. Justin would pay it back over a decade. But here's where it gets insane. According to multiple sources, Justin has allegedly only made one payment so far. When Scooter's team reached out for the balance, they were reportedly told Justin didn't have the funds. Can you imagine? One of the world's biggest pop stars claiming he's broke? But wait, it gets even more dramatic. But then it gets worse. Justin's business manager, Lou Taylor, conducted a financial review and claimed Scooter had been overpaid $26 million in commissions. The audacity of that move is actually impressive.
Just days after the duo reportedly reached a financial agreement after cutting ties in 2023, Scooter is sharing his thoughts on the Grammy winner's new album Swag. Taking to his Instagram stories July 12th, writing, "Been getting a lot of texts about how I feel about Justin's new album."
But here's where the plot thickens even more. Scooter's company fired back with their own audit, concluding that they were actually owed an additional $1 million. Which they graciously decided to waive. But Justin's team called that audit biased and accused everyone involved of protecting their own interests. This isn't just industry drama. This is full-scale financial warfare. And suddenly, everything makes sense. Get this though, the catalog sale to Hypnosis for over $200 million in 2023, that was the first red flag. Artists typically only sell their life's work when they need immediate cash flow.
I have another crazy inside Hollywood scoop for you guys today, this time pertaining to Justin Bieber. This is crazy. Daily Mail, last 48 hours. Here are some headlines. Inside Kendall and Kylie Jenner's desperate attempts to help Hailey and Justin Bieber amid split speculation. Justin Bieber reacts to wife Hailey.
The surprise album drop, the expensive clothing line launch, it's all connected to this debt situation. But here's what nobody's talking about. The Instagram strategy that fooled millions of people. For months, we've been watching Justin's Instagram like it was performance art, and honestly, maybe it was. Here's the bombshell though. Wait until you hear this revelation. The spam posting, the cryptic selfies, the concerning captions about having, quote, anger issues, it all seems so genuine, so worrying, so very unlike the polished celebrity content we're used to seeing. But listen to this bombshell. On his new album, Justin literally addresses this entire controversy. The track Therapy Session features Drewski saying, even sometimes where I know you're trolling, and they don't even understand it, like, oh my gosh, he's fudging, losing his mind. And he's like, nah, I think he's just being a human being.
Wait, did you catch that? Drewski said, where I know you're trolling.
Hailey Bieber is standing on business. The Roadskin founder seemingly responded to ongoing speculation about her marriage by sharing a strongly worded message about her husband Justin Bieber's forthcoming album, Swag. In a July 10th Instagram story, Hailey shaded a photo of the cover art for the singer's 7th album, which features a black and white snap of the couple and their 10-month-old son, Jack Blues Bieber.
Some of those concerning posts were intentional provocations. Justin was deliberately posting content to spark concern and conversation. Brilliant marketing, even if morally questionable. But then it gets more complex. Justin gets vulnerable in a way that feels genuine. He admits that having to go through his struggles so publicly has been weighing on him. He says people constantly asking if he's okay starts to make me feel like I'm the one with issues and everyone else is perfect. That part hits different because you can hear the exhaustion in his voice. But here's where it gets really calculated. The bathroom mirror selfies with exaggerated facial expressions and captions like, you could point at my flaws or you could recognize your own Lil Witch weren't random outbursts. They were calculated to keep people talking. And it worked. Every single post generated thousands of comments from concerned fans and sparked articles analyzing his mental state.
Welcome back to ABC News Live. First, that was a clip of Daisies from Justin Bieber's new surprise album, Swag. Billboards of the new album went up around the world yesterday before he announced the midnight drop. The 31-year-old's apparently getting personal in Swag, peeling back the curtain on his personal life.
But wait, there's more. The paparazzi incidents weren't isolated events either. What we initially thought were separate incidents were actually part of a larger pattern. There wasn't just one paparazzi confrontation, there were multiple, each more intense than the last. The Palm Springs coffee shop incident happened weeks before Malibu. Justin stormed toward photographers, repeatedly saying, money, 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 suggesting reporters only care about profiting from his image. And here's what's crazy, there was also another confrontation where he told paparazzi, this has to stop. But here's what's fascinating, and this is where it gets really wild. In every single incident, Justin's language became increasingly quotable. It's not clocking to you isn't standard English, but it's perfectly memeable. Standing on business became a cultural touchstone. These weren't just outbursts, they were content creation opportunities that he later monetized. But listen to this revelation. The fact that he licensed that audio for his album proves this was always the plan. You don't negotiate usage rights for something that genuinely traumatized you. You do it when you've created intellectual property that you want to capitalize on. But that's not even the most calculated part. Wait until you see what he did with his clothing brand. While everyone was focused on the album announcement, Justin simultaneously launched his new clothing brand, Skylrk. And this deserves its own investigation because the entire strategy is wild. But here's where it gets insane. This isn't just some celebrity vanity project. This is a complete rebrand that required him to literally burn his past to the ground. Drew House, the quirky streetwear line he co-founded in 2019, is officially dead. And listen, it gets more dramatic. Justin didn't just distance himself from it. He created an animated video of himself setting the Drew House on fire with Skylrk branded matches before walking away with Hailey and their baby. The symbolism couldn't be more obvious. He's destroying his old identity to make room for his new one. But let's talk about those prices, because they're causing major controversy.
Swag amid fan concerns for his well-being and rumors of trouble in his marriage.
I felt like I lost my purpose for a while. I felt like I wasn't chasing after what I knew I was, or who I knew I was. You know, I was kind of just fine with where I was.
Money, money, money.
Foam slides for $180, hoodies for $160, sunglasses for $200. These aren't just expensive, they're luxury brand territory for basic streetwear. The website policies are even more aggressive. No returns, no exchanges, all sales final. Pre-orders can't be canceled even if delivery windows are missed. The site warns customers to order at your own risk. language of someone who needs cash flow immediately.
But here's where it gets really interesting. Skylrk was apparently founded back in 2023 with Pink Dolphin founder Nima Kayla, meaning this rebrand has been in development for over 2 years. The trademark registrations were filed by the same law firm that handled Hailey's Rhode beauty brand. This wasn't a rushed decision, it was a calculated business move. But wait until you hear about the marriage drama that's been brewing behind the scenes.
Throughout this entire period, rumors about Justin and Hailey's marriage have been reaching fever pitch. And honestly, some of the speculation has been pretty compelling. Now here's what's really interesting. Justin was notably absent from the Met Gala, while Hailey attended solo, in a stunning black blazer dress that became one of the night's fashion highlights. His absence didn't go unnoticed, but it gets more suspicious. There were reports that Hailey temporarily unfollowed Justin on Instagram, though she later claimed it was a glitch. But fans noticed, and in the current social media landscape, an unfollow from your spouse is basically a public statement. Whether it was intentional or not, it added fuel to the speculation fire. But then came Hailey's response to the album announcement, and this is where things get really interesting. She posted on her Instagram story, "Is it finally clocking to you effing losers?" Directly referencing that viral paparazzi moment. This wasn't just supportive, it was combative. She was basically telling everyone who questioned their relationship that they finally had their answer. But wait, there's more to her involvement. Hailey has been playing defense throughout this period, even contributing to Skylrk.
Interview published May 20th, being postpartum is the most sensitive time I've ever gone through in my life, and learning a new version of myself is very difficult. And to be doing that all the while going on the internet every day and people being like they're getting divorced and they're this and they're not happy, it is such a mind.
In April, she shared an Instagram story wearing a black leather jacket she was designing for the line. She's not just supporting, she's actively participating. Sources close to the couple paint a complex picture. One insider said, Hailey's very loyal to him. She's not walking away, but she knows something has to change. Her focus is raising Jack in a stable environment. But the real revelations come from the album itself and what Justin says about everything.
The Swag album itself is fascinating because it directly addresses every controversy we've been dissecting. But here's what's wild. 21 tracks that feel like Justin's attempt to control the narrative around his recent behavior. The length alone suggests he's trying to give maximum value to justify the 4-year wait since Justice. Dad's Love is obviously about his son, Jack Blues, born in August 2024, and it's one of the more vulnerable tracks on the album. Then it gets interesting. Becoming a father seems to have shifted something in Justin's perspective, and you can hear it in the lyrics. But then he pivots to Go Baby, where he literally shouts out Hailey's Rhode beauty brand, singing, "That's my baby, she's iconic, iPhone case, lip gloss on."
But wait, there's more. The gospel track Forgiveness, featuring Marvin Winans, feels particularly significant given all the controversy. It's a rendition of Lord, I Lift Your Name on High, and it suggests Justin is trying to find spiritual grounding amid all the chaos. Whether that's genuine or performative is something we'll probably never know. But here's what critics are saying. They're calling the album darker, more vulnerable, and less polished than his previous work, which tracks with everything we know about his current situation. This doesn't sound like an artist at the peak of his career. It sounds like someone working through some serious personal and financial issues in real time. But it gets more strategic. The collaborations with Gunna, Sexy Red, and Cash Cobain feel calculated too. These are artists who represent current hip-hop culture, and featuring them positions Justin as still relevant to younger audiences who might not connect with his teen pop origins. But this raises bigger questions about authenticity in the social media age.
At the beach. You know what I'm saying? You don't think I'm a real guy, do you? You're gonna take this video out of context, you're gonna say I'm mad. I don't know who the paying you to provoke me, but I'm not the one.
What's particularly fascinating about this entire situation is how it highlights the impossible position of modern celebrities. And here's where it gets really complex. We demand authenticity from them, but when they show genuine struggle, we consume it as entertainment. And increasingly, celebrities are learning to monetize their own vulnerability. Justin's recent Instagram post about healing hits different when you know the full context. But listen to this. He wrote, "People keep telling me to heal. Don't you think if I could have fixed myself, I would have already? I know I'm broken. I know I have anger issues." That level of self-awareness suggests he understands exactly how his behavior has been perceived. But then he continues, and this is where it gets heavy. "The harder I try to grow, the more focused on myself I am. And that's where you hear the exhaustion. Whether this whole campaign was calculated or not, the emotional toll seems genuine. Managing a public persona while dealing with real personal issues is incredibly complex. But here's the million-dollar question. Can something be both strategic and authentic? Can Justin be genuinely struggling while also leveraging that struggle for commercial purposes? The answer is probably yes, and that makes this situation incredibly uncomfortable to analyze. But the implications go way beyond just Justin Bieber. The Justin Bieber swag era represents something larger than just one artist's comeback strategy. But here's what's really significant. It's a case study in how celebrity culture has evolved in the social media age, where every moment of apparent authenticity is potentially promotional content. We live in a time where audiences crave real human moments from celebrities, but we consume those moments as entertainment. But here's the twist. Justin understood this dynamic and used it to his advantage, creating months of engaging content that kept him in headlines without spending $1 on traditional promotion. But wait, there's more to consider. The sophistication of this campaign is actually impressive from a marketing perspective. The global billboard rollout, the strategic social media chaos, the paparazzi confrontations that generated viral audio clips. It all worked together to create maximum attention for minimum cost.
Money, money, money. On track 6, Butterflies, Justin stands on business with that paparazzi moment, turning tabloid chaos into a chill beat.
But here's what's concerning. The human cost is harder to calculate. Justin admits in his music that the constant scrutiny and questioning of his well-being has taken a toll. The line between performance and reality has become so blurred that even he might not know where one ends and the other begins. It gets even more complex. As we move forward, the Justin Bieber playbook will likely become a template for other artists facing career or financial pressures. Turn your chaos into content, monetize your struggles, and let the audience's concern become your promotional strategy. And here's the final question. Whether that's evolution or degradation of celebrity culture depends on your perspective. But one thing is certain, Justin Bieber has successfully demonstrated that in the attention economy, even apparent mental health crises can be converted into commercial success. The swag era has officially begun, and it's clear that nothing, absolutely nothing, is off limits when it comes to content creation in the modern entertainment industry. But what's really wild is that we're all just waiting to see who takes this strategy to the next level. And honestly, that should probably scare us more than it excites us.